Alright, so get this. 3 big-time execs from Ubisoft are in court right now. Why? Because they're being accused of straight-up awful behavior, psychological and sexual harassment, that apparently went on for almost a decade. This whole thing blew up after Ubisoft employees started calling out the toxic work culture online. We're talking about top dogs abusing their power, making the workplace miserable, and just being overall creeps. Ubisoft eventually launched an investigation in 2020, which led to some of these guys either quitting or getting kicked out. Among the accused, Tommy Francois, former VP of Editorial and Creative Services, stands out as one of the most egregious offenders. Reports from multiple sources describe his behavior as outright predatory. He allegedly played pornography at full volume in the office for all employees to hear. He was known to forcibly kiss female employees, often chasing them around the office. Francois reportedly encouraged a game called Cat and Dick, the exact nature of which remains unclear, but it was clearly inappropriate. In a particularly disturbing incident, he tied a female employee to a chair, put her in an elevator, and sent her to another floor, leaving her unable to free herself. He forced a female employee to do a handstand on a desk while wearing a skirt so he could see her underwear. At a company Christmas party, he attempted to forcibly kiss a younger female employee, while other Ubisoft employees held her down so he could do it. Francois also smeared a female employee's face with felt-tip pen and forced her to attend a meeting without cleaning herself off. His behavior was reportedly encouraged by his senior position, as he created a culture where harassment was normalized. Serge Hascoët, Ubisoft's former chief creative officer, was another powerful figure implicated in misconduct. Hascoët had final approval over every game Ubisoft developed, meaning no major project moved forward without his sign-off. Yet behind the scenes, he allegedly made racist remarks, particularly toward a Muslim female employee after a terrorist attack in 2015. He reportedly demanded she confirm whether she supported the attacks or not. Left pork and bacon on the desk of the same Muslim employee during Ramadan, a blatant act of religious harassment. He even changed her computer wallpaper to an image of a bacon sandwich. Repeatedly engaged in sexual and moral harassment over the years, abusing his position of power to target employees. Hascoët was finally removed from his position in 2020 after mounting pressure from employees and media investigations. Unlike Francois and Hascoët, who were accused of overtly abusive behaviors, Guillaume Carmona, former managing director of Ubisoft's Bordeaux studio, was allegedly responsible for enforcing Ubisoft's toxic environment. Multiple employees testified that he enabled and protected known harassers, silenced victims who attempted to speak out about workplace abuse, encouraged a culture of fear where employees were afraid of being blacklisted from the gaming industry if they reported misconduct. Carmona was eventually placed on leave and later dismissed, but not before numerous employees had suffered under his leadership. One of the most damning aspects of this scandal is how Ubisoft's Human Resources Department failed to act despite years of complaints. Reports indicate that HR actively ignored allegations of abuse and misconduct. Victims were pressured to remain silent, fearing retaliation or termination. Ubisoft manipulated, exhausted, and crushed employees who tried to stand up for themselves. One of the 9 plaintiffs who filed civil lawsuits against Ubisoft stated that their pleas for help fell on deaf ears, leading to severe psychological repercussions. Ubisoft, instead of taking action, allegedly protected the abusers to maintain the company's reputation. Now, they're all in court denying everything, but this trial could be a huge moment for the gaming industry, which has been called out for years over sexist, toxic workplaces. And I honestly hope they go to jail for life for what they did. Reading these allegations made me sick to my stomach. And just when you think the list of bad actors at Ubisoft couldn't get any longer, here comes Ashraf Ismail, the creative director of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This guy wasn't just any random employee, he was a major figure at Ubisoft, leading some of their biggest games like Black Flag, Origins, and Valhalla. But in 2020, his career came crashing down when people started calling him out for some pretty shady behavior. Turns out, Ismail had been using his position in the gaming industry to pursue relationships with younger women while lying about being married. Women came forward saying that he manipulated them, pretending to be single just to get close to them. It wasn't long before this all blew up, especially since it happened at the same time as a bigger wave of Me Too accusations allegations in the gaming world. At first, he tried to do damage control. He deleted his Twitter account and put out a statement saying he was stepping down from Valhalla to deal with personal issues. Ubisoft also made an announcement, confirming that he was taking a leave of absence. But let's be real, he didn't step away out of the goodness of his heart. He got caught. For a while, Ubisoft didn't say much about whether he'd be coming back. It wasn't until 2 months later that they finally confirmed he had been fired after an internal investigation. So, yeah, he's gone, but it took a while, and Ubisoft didn't exactly rush to cut ties. And that's the bigger issue here. Ismail wasn't the only one. His story was just one piece of the larger mess Ubisoft was dealing with, a company-wide culture that let powerful men get away with predatory behavior for years. His firing, along with others like Serge Hascoët and Tommy Francois, was supposed to be proof that Ubisoft was cleaning house. But even now, people still wonder, has Ubisoft really changed? Or did they just do the bare minimum to save face? So here we are in 2025, and the big question is, has Ubisoft truly changed? Is it now a safer workplace? Or do the same toxic behaviors still linger beneath the surface? And most importantly, are any of these horrible people still working at Ubisoft? Ubisoft has made significant efforts to turn things around and create a safer, more inclusive workplace following the sexual misconduct scandals that came to light in 2020. While the company received heavy criticism for allowing a toxic culture to thrive for years, it has since introduced a strict code of conduct, new policies, and accountability measures to prevent future misconduct. Every Ubisoft employee, regardless of position or contract type, must read, sign, and adhere to the Ubisoft Code of Conduct annually. This document sets clear expectations for behavior, including zero tolerance for harassment, discrimination, and abuse, guidelines for maintaining a respectful and inclusive environment, a speak-up system for employees to report misconduct anonymously. One of the biggest criticisms of Ubisoft's past culture was that victims were afraid to speak out due to fear of retaliation or blacklisting. Ubisoft has since established Whisply, an independent third-party reporting system that allows employees to report issues anonymously, committed to protecting whistleblowers from retaliation, ensured all misconduct allegations are investigated confidentially. Ubisoft has also committed to reducing crunch culture and ensuring work-life balance, keeping physical safety a priority in all Ubisoft offices, implementing stricter rules on alcohol, drugs, and workplace behavior to prevent incidents at company events. Are all the bad guys gone? Yes, many of the worst offenders have been fired or removed. There's no public evidence that known abusers are still there, but some people who helped cover up misconduct or ignored complaints may still hold positions of power. While Ubisoft has cleaned house at the top, the entire culture takes time to change, and some employees still don't trust leadership. Who might still be there? Ubisoft never publicly named everyone accused of misconduct. Some employees and managers who were part of the toxic culture, but not directly accused of harassment, may still be there. HR was heavily criticized for ignoring complaints for years, and while Ubisoft has restructured HR, it's unclear if all problematic HR staff were removed. Some senior managers who allowed abuse to continue reportedly kept their jobs. What do employees say? In 2021, an employee group called A Better Ubisoft stated that some enablers were still in power and that Ubisoft's changes weren't enough. They demanded more transparency on investigations, more employees involved in workplace reforms instead of just executives, stronger protections for victims and whistleblowers. If you want to be ahead of all the gaming leaks and news, specifically PlayStation news, time for you to subscribe. And as always, a like on the video is very much appreciated.